Hey, John.
Hey Eric, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Doing all
Doing all
right.
right?
Yeah,
Survived
yeah.
the New Year's. Happy New Year's, by the way.
Survived the New Year's. Yes, Happy New Year's. Like an old person, I watched the New Year's Eve on the New York time zone and went to bed shortly after. So I saw the ball
All
drop.
right.
It's not true. We watched. I don't remember what channel it was or what streaming service it was. They had the ball different drops across the U.S. till it got to the West Coast. So we
Okay.
watched, I think, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, and then anyways. So we saw the different fireworks displays, and then we're like, all
Uh-huh.
right, I don't need to wait for L.A.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Well, I did actually stay up, but I didn't actually watch the ball drop. I was, I mean, because I was coughing your ear out last week. We had a sick New Year's
Ugh.
week, I guess. I'm assuming it's the flu that that was going around or is going around, and most of us in
Mm.
the house are got our flu vaccine. I did at least, and my kids did. My wife didn't though, and she had it. She had it the worst.
Mm.
So, but anyway, so I was determined to stay up till midnight. Although we didn't watch the ball drop, but watched a movie with the boys. Um, this is not a New Year's movie, but do you remember The Fifth Element?
That is a fantastic movie. I love that movie.
Okay, yeah, that's what we
Yes,
watched. That's what we watched because
that's a great
because we get
movie.
down. What do you want to watch? Oh, I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. I'm like, and I don't even know why it like flashed up or thought of it or something. I was like, have I ever made you guys watch The Fifth Element?
Yeah, my
And they were
kids have
like,
seen it.
no, I don't know. Afterwards, they were like, I'm pretty sure we might. So I might have done it like when they were young,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
um, but yeah. Anyway, so that was our New Year's movie, sort of
Nice.
following on from the Thanksgiving Bruce Willis for Die Hard as a Christmas movie, I guess. But and maybe that's why I thought of it was Bruce Willis. But
Yeah.
um, anyway, so that was good. So although the movie ended literally at like 11:56, 58 or something like that,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Oh, Happy New Year! There you go, there we
All
go."
right.
So anyway, so it was good,
Nice.
but I did not get much done that last week of break slash vacation. I
Yeah.
I have not been doing well. So
I I felt pretty productive my last week of vacation there. My wife had come to me and said, "Hey, I think I mentioned before, my wife reads books, like physical books a lot, and she is on a weekly basis goes to the library, gets the new books that she's checked out, and brings them home and reads. I mean, there's always a stack of library books on her nightstand.
uh-huh.
She loves to read books. Well, she came to me and said, "Hey, do you know of any apps that do X, Y, and Z?" She wanted to track which book she's read because she had
Yeah,
picked a book from the library, got 100 pages into it, and realized I've read this before.
yeah,
Who told me about this? And so now, so she was, "Hey, can you build me an app where I can track which books I read?
uh-huh.
And I want to have notes." And she basically outlined exactly what her perfect app would look like. And I thought, you know what I do for a living?
I could
I
my
can
my
build
job is
you
to make you happy.
exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And part of this too was I thought, how good are AI? Because I had messed around with vibe code, the vibe coding, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried playing around with some stuff before, and it just was a little hacky. Well, Xcode, so this is all on a Mac, and she has iPhone. Xcode, you can now get GitHub Copilot, an extension to Xcode with GitHub Copilot.
Okay.
And so I launched GitHub Copilot and I wired this all together, and I pretty much just let the AI agent do all the coding. Instead of me writing code, I wrote prompts saying, do
Uh-huh.
this, and then I run it, and I do this, and I run it, and I do. And then after I did that for a little while, it became very clear. All right, you're going to have to mess directly with the code somehow. So I had to start tweaking the code, and that's when I ran into things where it became frustrating because if I didn't do certain things after I manually changed the code, GitHub would forget or wouldn't realize that I had manually changed the code. And when it went to make its next change, it would revert my manual changes. So I was talking to a guy at work who said, well, you know what you got to do is just put in your prompt, I made manual changes since my last prompt, or something, just tell it you've made manual changes, and it'll go repull and reread the files and do everything. But I swear, and the app syncs with iCloud to the front end, to her iPad and her iPhone. I had to do some manual stuff for the iPad to push my model schema to production there. So there were some manual steps I had to do to make it all work. But in general, I'm pretty confident I did in a day what probably would have taken me without the AI coding a couple weeks. Like,
it's pretty impressive.
I think I'm now sold on.
Really?
Yeah. Especially if, and then the other thing that I found is, especially with GitHub Copilot, and Xcode gives you so many free OpenAI and so many OpenAI queries.
Mm-hmm.
If there is an error, an exception, you just click the button, generate a fix for this exception, and it'll read all the code and figure out what the error is, and then rewrite the code that generated the exception with something new. And some of the other problems I ran into were I'm using for the book API to pull the book data. It's Open Library, similar to Internet Archive. I think it's the same company. They have Open Library where they have all the books.
Okay.
And you can look up by ISBN or by name and title, and it'll get you the book cover. So her list has, the name and title, the author, and like the picture of the book cover. So it looks kind of nice. But it was using this OpenAI library. I didn't even bother to go to Open Library to look at the API until something wasn't quite working. I went to Open Library to look at the API, and it's, hey, this is our legacy API, which is what GitHub Copilot had me using.
Knew how to use.
Here's my new one. And so I went back to GitHub Copilot and said, hey, use the new Open Library API, not the legacy one. And it figured it out.
Oh, really?
And replaced everything and was using the new, much more RESTful API as opposed to kind of the REST-ish API.
REST-ish, yeah.
The legacy one was. So
that's pretty cool.
I was thoroughly impressed, and to the point where I think I will actually publish it on the App Store for two reasons. One, there's no other way to get an app onto my wife, and she's got a couple friends who said that, hey, can we use that? We think that'd be cool. App without having to republish a new one every 90 days through test flight. Like I could get her on test flight and just publish a new update and it would stay on. But so I think I will publish it on the App Store for some dollar amount.
$19.99.
Yeah, so that people don't accidentally buy it and then get upset that it doesn't solve the problems that they care about and give me 1-star reviews. I'll just, put it out there, give my wife and her friends promo codes so they can download it for free. And
I think that sounds brilliant.
It'll be a lot of fun. So maybe a future something fun. We'll throw the link to the.
All right.
But it is literally exactly what my wife wants, and I've added stuff to it. She's like, "Why are you putting that in it? Take that out. I don't like that." I've had to
natural minimalist
remove some features that I thought were cool. So
that's okay. User group of one.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So that was the rest of my holiday, and now I am back to work with less time to
just play
AI agent code, which was a blast, actually. So
well, I guess I did one of my last things that I did. I was feeling good enough on Saturday that I decided. You mentioned to me at some point. This is years ago, Mr. Plywood.
Yeah, yeah.
on
On the
the
east
east
side.
side.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
fantastic.
I had a project that I wanted to do that I wanted some good plywood for that they did not have at Lowe's, and I was like, well, I have a bit of time, so I actually called them up to see if they would cut it because I didn't want to drive the truck over there. I literally drove my little car over there,
Right.
and and had them cut it all up, and I put the plywood in the back. My wife's like, Did you take the truck?" I'm like, No." I'm like, "What?" Like, no, I just gave them rough dimensions, so I'll have to cut them all again. But anyway, so I went over. That was a cool store. That was awesome.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty
I
cool.
made a little bit of a sojourn to Mr. Plywood. That was my one like funnish thing I did over the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
Fun store.
it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I see you put a follow up in.
Yeah. So I think this was February 2024. So leading into
Okay.
election season. I don't know if you remember the Joe Biden AI generated voice robocall that
I do remember
was
that, of course.
uh, around. Well, apparently, the FCC has finalized a new set of financial penalties and regulations aimed at cracking down on robocallers and telecommunication providers that facilitate them.
Okay.
So
I'm intrigued.
the background is from that Joe Biden call, a lot, this bubbled to the top because of an AI clone voice of President Biden. So
Mm-hmm.
the goal of the rules is to ensure that the regulators and law enforcement are tracking that call spoofing. So someone who's
Mm-hmm.
not really who they are. Because I think, if I remember right, the Biden one, they spoofed the governor or a Democrat committee chairperson's phone number. Something they spoofed. They not only had the robocall
Right.
in the voice, they spoofed someone's number to give it an air of legitimacy. So the new financial penalties, as of that start February 5th, 2026, there will be a $10,000 fine for submitting false or inaccurate information to the robocall mitigation database. Apparently, that's the database. And a
Okay.
$1,000 fine for each entry not updated within 10 business days of a provider receiving new information, meaning, hey, that number is making scam calls. You need to update the database. So it increases the fine.
Huh.
And so the change here, I guess the old fee was just a $3,000 fee, but this is now a middle ground where it's a higher fee up front, but a lower fee on the delay, just to deter the bad actors without being overly punitive for honest mistakes. Somebody
Hmm.
misfiling something. So there's some tweak there that they've done. The other changes to this is providers now have to recertify every year that the information they've submitted to the database is accurate.
Okay.
And there is this thing now called a deficiency reporting. So deficient filings, such as those that provide fake contact information, they need to have plans that. Oh, wait, hold on. It says there's a new channel for reporting deficient filings. So people who file with fake contact information or mitigation plans that do not actually describe reasonable practices. So you're not doing it the way you should. And then finally, the cybersecurity link here is the FCC has added two-factor authentication for any provider accessing or updating the robocall mitigation database. So that's the follow-up. There is, as a result of the Biden deepfake issue, we now have new penalties and
What
requirements.
is this robocall mitigation database though?
The,
Is this a source database that all the phone
that all
providers are
the
using for?
right, correct, and the carriers that transmit those robocalls, they have to file accurate information. So you can make robocalls as long as you do it by filing accurate information, right? You can have for legitimate purposes, and there's way so that people can validate that. Okay, yeah, that really is a robocall from the actual Democratic committee or wherever. I mean, we get those every political season. Is those robocalls? It's to be able to track bad actors and find bad actors. So
interesting.
mm-mm.
You can download a CSV from the FCC.
There you go.
Interesting. I don't think I realized. I mean, I don't know without looking at it what's in there, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think this looks like it's a list of providers and what their implementation of Stir Shaken is. It's not a list of robocallers or anything it's not a list of phone numbers.
Right.
But if you track a provider and or something like that, and you know where the call's coming from, maybe you could look this up and decide whether or not you should trust the number or something.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all. There's no humans connecting wires for phone numbers anymore, right? It's maybe 80 years ago that was still happening, but so this is how they all authenticate to each other and say, yes, that's a legitimate
this
thing
is
that I
literally
will
a
follow
list
through.
of voice providers. Interesting. Okay.
Right.
It's not what I had hoped it was, which was a list of bad phone numbers.
Right.
That would be more interesting to me. But okay. That's what the robocall mitigation database is.
There you go.
The RMD. Sorry. All right. How about your topic?
My topic is a little lighter.
Okay.
Anyways, we've talked about IoT numerous times over the years, and the convergence of if you buy my hardware, you can only use my hardware via an app, right?
Oh, sure.
I have the app which allows me to unlock the doors or whatever it may be. Well, apparently in Europe there is a scooter company that apparently is moving to bankruptcy. And so a security researcher has one of their e-scooters and apparently really likes it, I'm assuming. And because they were worried that, well, what happens if this e-scooter company's cloud shuts down and they go bankrupt and I can no longer use my scooter that I paid a trivial amount of money for? Well, fortunately for this security researcher, reverse engineering and messing around with the connection to the controls discovered that the master key for authenticating to the scooter is just a 20 byte random value, and the app has to respond with the SHA-1 hash of that value concatenated with a 20 byte secret key. Well, the researcher discovered
static key
that if that instead of unique keys per scooter, the developers used the default value of FF, so the hex value FF repeated 20 times for every scooter.
Oh, you're killing me.
And so since the secret key, this is good, I guess, on some level, the secret key is identical across the entire fleet of these scooters, any device can authenticate to any scooter by simply using this default value. Your custom key also works, but there is also a master key.
A backdoor. Yeah.
That is just essentially -1.
Okay.
As the default value. So with that, the researcher was able to map out all the 10 byte codes for lock and unlock, the battery, system settings, telemetry, and all that stuff. The researcher noted that I tried to report the flaw to the company in bankruptcy,
Who's going to
responsible
listen?
disclosure. Well, apparently, the same scooter company, there is a rental company that's owned by the same parent company that still is in business and renting the scooters. And it seems
Interesting.
that the rental scooters have this Bluetooth disabled in public, so that it's not
Oh, wow.
it's immune because they can't
Small favors.
you know. So the researcher had difficulty reporting the flaw, um, and the IoT module manufacturer. So not I assume the scooter company did never answer. It wasn't exactly clear. At least I missed it if it was. But the IoT module manufacturer did confirm the flaw, noting that the scooter development team had simply failed to implement the unique keys during production and use the default key, which is
FF.
FF. So there is now a Python proof of concept library script that can automatically find, authenticate, and unlock any nearby scooter of this brand. So there you go. That's my fun topic for today is
Wow.
small favors. Company goes in bankruptcy, so you can still use it. Kind of fits in the right to repair bucket on some level.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't know.
there you go.
Is that a like a lifestyle business where the person like sets up and says, "Hey, if I can just get like 1,000 people
Yeah.
that have these scooters that actually want to use them for anyway." Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Um, Good on them and shame on them. The other them. But there we go. I'm sure if AI wrote that code, it would be secure. Um, so
It
in
wouldn't be
the
using any legacy APIs. No.
in the spirit of no good deed goes unpunished,
One of my favorite sayings.
um,
Uh,
there was a MongoDB incident that's been going on for the last like week and a half or so, maybe 2 weeks
okay.
now. Um,
I don't think I've seen this yet.
well, so
Hmm.
it's the public name is Mongo Bleed. Um, yeah. Um,
You got a good
Kind
thing
of
going.
a
Just
play
keep
off
running
of
with it.
Citrix Bleed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
So the link that I'll actually post in here is actually to the Mongo blog post that details their timeline,
Okay.
because their timeline is emblematic of the way the world should be.
Mm.
Unfortunately, it's not the way that the world is. But in some ways, from a company's perspective, a company that hosts a service that patches servers before or coincident with their public disclosure of the patch,
Hmm.
I don't know. There's some motivation there. But
Yeah.
anyway, so apparently this defect was found internally by Mongo engineering or
Okay.
security engineering.
Yeah.
So they said that they found it on December 12th, validated it, and developed a fix through the 14th. 15th through the 17th, developed and tested rollout plans and started patching their Atlas as their hosted on MongoDB service. It said, so by December 5th, 17th, they completed patching of the majority of the Atlas fleet. But
Okay.
evidently, also on December 17th, for some customers, and presumably these are larger customers or something like that, they have an optional feature called maintenance windows that they let the customer control when the patching window can happen. And so blah blah blah. They anyway, by the 19th, by the 18th, they had patched all of the Atlas fleet, including maintenance windows. And then December 19th, they published the vulnerability through CVE. And December 23rd, they posted the public, because MongoDB is used both on-prem and in a community edition. So they posted an update for the community forum with the patch.
Okay.
That's sort of where the blog post ends, although there's a comment that says, I thought this was funny, protecting customers was our top priority through this process. Tens of thousands of MongoDB Atlas customers and hundreds of thousands of Atlas instances were proactively patched within days. Because MongoDB manages Atlas, we were able to deploy critical security patches quickly and safely on behalf of our customers.
Okay.
But then there was another, this is the next paragraph. As with any operational event, this was another opportunity to learn, improve, and raise the bar. This software security space is rapidly evolving with new tools and techniques, and we'll continue to evaluate and deploy new capabilities as part of our deep investment in security for our customers. Okay, what is not said is that December 23rd, they post the patch for public deployment. December 24th, somebody posted a proof of concept exploit.
Oh.
A day later. Why? The patch is available. Reverse the patch.
There you go.
Figure out how to exploit it. All of our servers are patched.
Exactly.
Prior to patch release. I mean, they're the software vendor. They have a community edition. Like, what else are they going to do? You gotta release the patch to the community edition. That's why I'm is this the way the world should work? So there, on a different article, the Bleeping Computer article, there's a couple comments that I pulled out that said that according to the Census platform for discovering internet-connected devices, as of December 27th, so 3 days after the patch, 4 days after the patch was available, 3 days after the exploit was available, there were more than 87,000 potentially vulnerable MongoDB instances exposed on the internet, on the public internet. And according to security platform Wiz, they say that 42% of visible systems, although their definition of a visible system is both internal and external, because they're deployed in a lot of enterprises. It shows 42% of visible systems have at least one instance of MongoDB in a version of vulnerable to this. So, the MongoDB blog post was posted on the 29th of December. I mean, if that had been posted on the 23rd of December, hey, this is our timeline, and now it's done. Okay, but I mean, there was no mention of any of the rest of the catastrophe that's kind of going on or anything like that. So I don't know. It was a little bit of in my mind as I was reading, I was like, talk about glass half full, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, what are you going to do? You got the fix. You got to do the fix. And if you're going to have a community, I didn't catch in there if there was notice to enterprise subscribers that were on-prem subscribers. I don't know. Maybe something like that it happened. That didn't seem to be in the timeline, at least. But anyway, that was my topic. So
okay,
I predict follow-ups.
Yeah. I will not bet against that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, how about something fun?
Well, I should probably split these into two, but they were both kind of goofy that I thought was kind of fun. So,
okay.
One of them is a website that we've mentioned before, neil.fun.
You have done neil.funs before.
And this one is a captcha. And the captchas get increasingly frustrating the further you go. So like it's just a captcha after
It's like
captcha that you have to
levels.
solve. It's levels of a game, and you get to the point where one of the captchas is win at tic-tac-toe, and then one of the captchas is solve this crossword puzzle. And so it just keeps getting more ridiculous. I have not gotten very far in it. I just thought it was pretty funny. So Neil.fun, back to just being fun, goofy thing on the internet to do. So I can tell
I'm
you're
doing it,
going
but
through them.
is it? This is. These are all fruit or tubers. It says select all squares with a vegetable, but they're not. They're not like
Is a tomato a vegetable?
a tomato is not a vegetable. A tomato is a
So
fruit.
do you pass? I passed that level. Let's see
Well,
if
I've
you
clicked
can.
nothing in it, and it's like, what are they considering a vegetable?
So I did the eggplant and corn, and if I remember, I think there's 4 on there that were considered vegetables. I passed that one. So anyways, you see what kind of goofy fun it is.
Are they considering tubers vegetables?
I'm gonna go with yes. Onion was a vegetable, considered a vegetable, if I
All
remember
right,
right.
all right.
So
I'm not sure. I
you're
agree.
annoyed with the captcha, which I think is
Okay.
part of the fun.
Reassemble the intersection. Okay. Oh, that is really bad.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
my second something
Okay, sorry.
fun is quickdraw.withgoogle.com. So quickdraw is you're given a task to draw something on a canvas with your mouse, and you have 20 seconds to do it, and you have to do it fast enough and good enough so that the AI model that's looking at what you're drawing can deduce that that's what it is. So the quick draw with Google, and it talks to you and it tells you draw, and it'll say, "Oh, that looks like a cow. That looks like a line. That looks like a cloud. That's just a
Oh,
squiggle." So it tells you what it's seeing as you're going. Clearly, though, it the things it can guess from is a limit. It's not the dictionary. There is a limited subset of things that it can actually guess from, because
got it.
eventually, like there's one that was like draw a duck, and so draw a parrot, and so I was drawing, and I made a bird, and it was telling me all the things it looked like, and then I finally got down to like the feet, and it's oh, that's a parrot. I'm like, it looks nothing like a parrot, but it did kind of look like a bird. So clearly there's a small set, and it's fun. It's just kind of
Okay, but
goofy.
this is them. Sorry, the intro page looked like they're trying. Are they trying to gather data?
Oh yeah. You actually read the data. Yeah, they're it's gamification trying to train a model on what to people
Got
that are
it.
doodling things, and they're yeah, how to gather training data.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm. So there you go. Those are
well
my two
played.
fun things. My two fun things for today.
Well played. Well played. Well played. Okay. Okay. Well, my something fun
Mm-hmm.
is something that I have no use for because well,
I have a box of things that I could use this for.
depending on your definition of 3D printer, I have 0, 1, or 2.5 of them. So,
We skipped
um,
2 and went right to a half.
well, I was trying to do the math in my head because according to me, I only have one 3D printer because I
Yes.
gave away another one, which
Right.
I'm not sure quite counts because it has just recently left the house, and I'm not sure anybody else in the house cares that it's actually gone. And I have this other printer that's on the way that Eufy make
Yeah.
thing for Kickstarter, which is not a 3D printer, but as far as the rest of my family is concerned, but that's 3D, right? I'm like, no, it's like 2.5D at best. And, because it can like build up textures.
Instead of printing on paper, it prints layers of
Yeah.
color.
Yeah. And you can, anyway, so, but I've been really tempted to buy a 3D printer lately, and I'm the worst. I am super aware that I'm the worst. which is kind of why I've got those other projects to kind of like organize and get some other crap out. So I feel like if I
Mm-hmm.
get rid of like 100 things, then maybe I can like buy one more.
Okay.
But who knew? The last thing I need is a 3D printer because then I'll just make other crap that I don't need. But it's still fun. So I've been watching a whole bunch of videos.
Uh,
And I know you've had like 14 3D printers, and I've only done the one so far, and it's the wildly different one. Anyway, net. There's a whole subset of YouTube about 3D printing. I'm sure you're aware of
uh-huh.
this,
Mm-hmm.
including, and I don't know why I've watched some of these videos, but because like I don't even have one, and there's all these people that are doing 3D print farms, and I'm like, ooh, that looks fun. That looks cool. What are you doing? and and I watched this video the other day where this guy was like making his own spools of filament,
Mm-hmm.
and he had the wacky setup, like literally like wacky setup, totally custom something, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
whatever. So the YouTube algorithm said, "Hey, show John this video," which is I have no idea. This company, I don't think it actually exists. I think there's one prototype that actually works, but it's a company that purports to sell a filament maker where you can put in either chopped up models that you want to discard and
Right.
it kind of
Waste
just
product
grind
from
them
the
back
model.
up,
Yeah.
or get the little pellets that they use for like injection molding or
Yeah.
a 3D print filament
And
making
right.
and make your own filament.
Make your own filament.
Make your own filament. Because these people with like print farms, if they can get a spool of filament for, and the one video I watched, he did the math and said that he was making his spools for like $2.70 a reel instead
Yeah.
of like $30.
Uh-huh.
Which, okay, if you're making your own stuff, totally makes sense. Anyway, like nobody in the world, certainly nobody in the King household, needs a 3D filament maker since he doesn't have a 3D printer that could use that filament maker. But still, the fact that it exists or potentially has some probability of potentially existing, since, like I said, it's kind of a little bit of a sketchy website and the video. But the video worked. But anyway, I think that this was something fun that I watched while I was sick in bed, and I was like, "Ooh, that's pretty cool." Like,
I have a box of 3D print waste product that I could probably very easily make myself a spool or two
yeah,
out of all the waste. It would
would
be
not make sense.
gray, or I don't know if it melts into the same color, or it would just be multicolor. It'd be
Yeah, I
like
don't know.
multicolored yarn. It would, but hey,
You know, it's
if I'm
recycling,
painting
right?
the 3D print anyways,
Like marshal the tech community around here. Bring all your old 3D prints back, and
yeah,
and recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle.
yeah.
Anyway, it's a little machine, supposedly $1,000. Like I said, I think there's a good probability, like P is greater than 20%, that this doesn't actually exist.
Apparently I clicked through the buy stuff and it says there are 30 in stock in the US with a American standard, it's called. And
Like plug.
yeah, I assume that means because it's got European standard and there's a couple of
Oh.
Japanese standard and American standard. I don't remember the website now, but
Okay.
it claims
It,
the count of available goes from 200 to 30 if you select the American standard button.
oh, interesting. Okay. Anyway, 3dpny.com, I guess, may or may not have a filament maker that
For
you can have
$1,000.
for $1,000.
So, how many spools would I have to buy for that to make me money on my spools? Not something I would
Well,
bother
let's just
calculating.
pretend they're $20.
Yeah.
So 50.
50 spools. I don't think I've used 50 spools in the lifetime of my
I'm not
printers.
saying this is for you. I'm
As a
100%
print
not
farm.
saying this is for me. I'm just saying this is something that that kind of a little bit semi-drugged John over the weekend with NyQuil / Dayquil was like, this is pretty cool.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway, there you go.
It does look cool. I did watch when I saw you put that link in. All right, John.
All right. There you go. All right,
Hey.
Eric. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Have a great night.
I'll talk to you later.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.